We didn't all sit and have a meeting, the three of us, at the same place in the same location, sir.
Well, I didn't ask about him. I'm not asking you about a meeting. Make sure
I said in person. When you asked why in person, I'm telling you, we weren't all three there physically.
Well, did you make phone calls to each other?
It's possible. I don't remember a certain time where we have.
But it's possible.
It's possible.
When we saw the video of the phone, the iPhone, that was shown to us, did you make that video?
Yes, sir.
When did you make that video?
I don't recall. After the detectives told me to hold on to every evidence and to take pictures of the, they knew Dr. Murray had called me, take pictures of it, do whatever you can to save it. I just decided just to video it, just to show I had it.
Well, did you take the video before you spoke to police officers? On August 31st?
Oh, yes, sir.
Did you take that video before August 31st, 2009?
To the best of my knowledge, yes, sir.
All right. And who, obviously somebody helped you take that video, right? Make that video. Did somebody
yes,
help you make that video?
Yes, sir.
Who was it that helped you?
It wasn't Fahim or Alberto.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Who was it that helped you?
Oh, you may answer. My wife. She held the camera while I put it on my phone in my home.
And did you provide that video to police when they came to talk to you on August 31st, 2009?
I believe so.
Now, what did you, or
I think I turned everything in. I mean, I should have.
well, what else would you have turned in besides the video?
I sat and gave my statement, and I believe I turned it in the pictures, or emailed it or something. Or I think so.
You said that the reason you saved that voicemail is because the detectives told you to keep everything important.
The detective.
Sustained.
All right. Well, who told you to keep everything important?
I believe the detectives.
Okay. And the only thing that you found to be important was that voicemail?
And the truth, the story, the reason I contacted them, I wanted them to know that.
During that evening, did you receive other voicemails?
With June 25th, 2009?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure I got plenty.
Did you receive some from Alberto?
No, I don't remember.
What
I was
about,
getting called from everybody. Friends, associates, business people.
did you receive any voicemails from Fahim Muhammad?
I wouldn't remember, sir.
You
It's possible.
You don't remember, is it what you're saying?
Yeah, it's possible. I don't remember.
We noticed on the video that there were no voicemails on there at all, except for Dr. Murray's.
Yeah, because if detectives were going to see it, I didn't want them seeing a bunch of random, irrelevant numbers.
So you erased everything else?
Yes, sir. I had to clear my voicemail that day. I got calls from everybody.
So, did you show your phone to detectives when they came to talk to you? Or just the video?
Don't remember.
Let's talk about your relationship with Michael. You had been his personal assistant for 2 years, essentially?
Yes, sir.
And as his personal assistant, you did whatever he asked you to do, essentially?
Yes, sir, for the most part.
If he wanted you to make phone calls, you made phone calls?
Yes, sir.
And if he wanted you to pick things up for him, you picked things up for him?
Yes, sir.
There was really nothing that he could ask you to do that you wouldn't do?
He knew what kind of person I was, and he knew what to ask me. I wouldn't, do something illegal, and he knew that.
Okay. But other than illegal, you do whatever he asked you to do?
He wouldn't ask me to do anything illegal, so anything he asked me, of course, I would do it.
Okay. Were you also, did you also play the part, Mr. Williams, as sort of a conduit for people who wanted to get in touch with Michael Jackson? Sort of an agent in case they wanted to get in touch with Michael Jackson? They would call you?
For the most part. He had his own personal cell phone, which family and close friends had, which I had nothing to do with. But if he didn't want someone to have his number, or someone didn't have his new number, then they would call me, and I would relay the message.
And oftentimes people from AEG would call you, for instance?
Yeah, they had his number, and they called him sometimes, but it wasn't unnormal at all for me to get a call from someone.
Okay. And then you would hook him up with Michael Jackson?
Sometimes I'd be right by him, give him the phone. Or...
One of the things that you did as an assistant was to pick up prescriptions for Michael Jackson?
Yes, sir.
But not in your name?
In Michael Jackson's name.
Right.
And blanket in
Right.
Paris and Prince's
Right.
name.
Right. No, but you would pick up those prescriptions?
Myself or security.
And also one of the things you do is you would accompany Michael Jackson for in places he would go,
Yes, sir.
like, for instance, doctor's offices?
For the most part, I didn't ever go in them, but I would drive from there and wait outside.
Would you recall at some point going to visit Dr. Arnold Klein with Michael Jackson?
Yes, sir, I do.
And this was a regular occurrence?
At a certain point, it was very regular. Yes, sir.
Did you, by any chance, have occasion to listen to the audio tape that was played in this trial? Did anybody ever play an audio tape of Michael Jackson to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Who played that audio tape to you?
I actually heard it. I was told I wasn't supposed to watch it on TV, but I did see it on the news. So,
Yeah, that happened.
yeah, apologize.
Have you ever heard Michael Jackson sound like that before?
Not that extreme, but I have heard him talk slow before.
And when he left Dr. Klein's office, have you observed him sometimes to talk slow?
But sometimes when he leave, he would talk slow like that. I never heard it that extreme, but I can definitely say he has come out and he's a little slower.
When you were asked by the police, actually, you were spoken to, the police spoke to you twice on June 25th, 2009. Is that right, or am I wrong about that?
I remember one sit down at the Carrollwood property. Okay. I remember speaking to police at the hospital when I gave them Dr. Murray's phone number.
But the name sounds familiar, but you don't remember the exact phone call.
I don't remember calling him at all, to be honest.
But the name sounds familiar.
The name sounds very familiar.
You don't remember an event in Las Vegas that involved you calling Dr. David Adams?
I do remember an event in Las Vegas when a lot of doctor stuff was going on. That was the time Mr. Jackson left with Dr. Murray just by themselves and asked us not to follow. And I remember I did call a doctor. I don't remember speaking to a doctor. I remember giving numbers to Dr. Murray, and I remember that day for sure.
Does the name Dr. David Adams have any connection to that date in your memory?
Possibly, but I can't truthfully say yes.
All right, well, that's all I'm asking for. When one of the phone calls that you made after, when you went back to the Carrollwood address on June 25th, 2009, you stayed there for quite some time, didn't you?
Stayed there for maybe a few hours.
In fact, you were there when the coroner was doing their investigation?
I'm not sure if I was there while they was doing the investigation. When I got there, detectives were there. The house was pretty much secured. When I had to go to the restroom, they had to walk me in and walk me out. So they had the house, so they could have been doing it at that time, but I don't have facts to that.
Okay, but you stayed after the police left.
It was still when police left. I was waiting for the family to get there. The family was on their way. And I asked the detectives or the police, is it okay for the family to come in? And he told me when they're done, then they can come and, they can come in. So I waited. I didn't want to leave because it was new security and, it was, I wanted to make sure the family came and then I felt comfortable leaving.
Okay, and that's actually going to be my next question
about
opening the house. After the police left, they told you the house was open.
That was the police's words to me.
What were the words?
It's something to the effect that once we're done, it's open.
Anybody can go in.
He didn't say that, but that's maybe what he was implying.
And you also noticed that before you left, that the entire security staff was replaced.
Yes, sir. That very night, I got a call saying, I don't know if I got a call. I remember something to the effect of there's new security, and I told the security guys just follow instructions, let the new security come. When they relieve you, fine. But I asked a few security to stay until the Jackson family got there. But the new security was already outside.
Right. Did it surprise you that the security staff was replaced?
I don't know if surprise the word. It is what it is. That's, he just died. They want new security. I just followed instructions.
All right, but you didn't take it at face value. You checked into it first to make sure that it was being replaced.
Yeah, I made sure it was. Yes, sir.
Who did you make sure with?
I either called Frank. I called one of his managers, either Frank DeLeo or Randy. I called some. I'm not sure who I called exactly, but I did call someone.
Do you remember making a phone call to Randy Phillips that night?
It's very possible.
How about Dr. Tome Tome?
I don't think I called him that night.
Do you know of anybody calling him?
It's possible.
It's possible. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Mr. Chernoff, thank you.